Hello. Hello, everybody. It's 11:43. Started a little late. One more window I want to open up. Crispy Egg Roll, thank you for resubscribing. Or am I? Oh, wait. That's internal monologue. Sorry. Gotta keep that under wraps. Cryptic Games as resubscribing. Good morning, guys. Hello. Good afternoon. Good evening for those of you elsewhere. You know, I'm opening up, even though we have a auction bot in our Discord channel. I actually liked running Nightbot in a separate window because I could just watch the chat there. How's the stream look? As you can see, there's a different background, and it's because I have moved stuff around in the house, my office specifically. I now have two monitors here. I'm running the Cintiq off my iMac, which was in my office, which is more powerful. I got an Ethernet cord. How exciting! I reinvested some of my hard-earned money and bought a wire that, I don't know, I should have done it long ago. Looks good. Am I in the frame? As you can tell, I sound kind of sick. Before I get going, or actually, you know what? I'll get going because we're running a little late, and I'll talk while I sketch. All right, what do we have here? Good morning, guys. Good. Einstein, Jeanson, Michael Demurgus, Will Broussard, Cryptic Games, Superhero Swimmer, Joe Willis Art, Pity 83, Patrick Berlin. Great. All right. So today we're going to look at the work of a gentleman named Marcelo Mater. I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly. And he has here some lovely Transformers artwork. And actually the drawing is really solid. The anatomy, I think, for the most part. The construction. But what I noticed in all these pages, and let me open up some more here. I wonder if I can open up... if you can hear small voices in the background. My kids are here. My nephew's here. Everyone's on break, so they're at home. It's a lovely time in the Lee household. And they're on Oculus Rift. You know, the 4-year-old, the 5-year-old, the 9-year-old. Okay, so that's another page. And let's open up that one. Yes, I do have a cold, but I will sacrifice my body for you guys. Actually, streaming is it's pretty easy to do. A lot harder to actually get up and go to work and deal with actual human beings and be in an office setting, and it's talking about art is very second nature. What happened to my first page? All right, there we go. All right. Peep the Wolverine on Jim Lee's desk. All right, so this sketch I've done, I'm going to give it away. I'm not really. Anyway, so this is how I feel about Disney Marvel. No, I'm kidding. This is it's a photocopy, dude. On my Instagram, I posted... someone requested this recreation of a drawing for a wedding gift. And so this is a photograph or a scan of a piece of art I did back in 89, 88. No, 90. Excuse me. And it's Wolverine And as you can tell, it looks a lot like Mike Mignola, and that was because Mike Mignola's Apocalypse prestige format book. It's a great book. For those of you who don't own it, check it out. Just masterfully drawn, and it had just come out, and I could tell that I was heavily influenced by, obviously, by the black shapes, the simplicity of the shadows, the fact that there are a lot of shadows, which I didn't really do a lot of. I did a lot more rendering, but also the width of the belt, the height of the belt. Mike has always drawn like these ginormous belts, and I wanted to kind of play around with that. And then the long ears, and even the gridded teeth was very kind of Mike Mignola-esque. But when I redrew it, I made all these little minute changes. I made it a little more realistic. I brought in the shoulders. I fixed some of the anatomy in the forearms. I made the claws shorter because if you think about the length of these claws, there's no way they could fit inside the actual forearms themselves. It always bugged me. And if you look at this leg, and don't look at it too carefully, there's almost like two kneecaps that's extended here, and this is really long. And the legs in general, he's a very tall, Hugh Jackman-like Wolverine. So I wanted to fix all these things, and then I posted online, and people still like the original 1990 better. So what can you do? I freaked everyone out. Yeah. Einstein Gene Sum. I can't see the chat board. How can I fix this? Can someone help him? I think you just need to hit. I think you're probably in theater mode, if I had to guess. There's a button somewhere. Okay. Oh, there's a lot of fish. Oh, literally rip. One time we shot a video interview at the old Wildstrom Studios in San Diego, and I had Sandra Hope, and she had a page that she was inking, like half pencils and half inks, and she had like a bottle of ink, and I was coming up to her and like just kind of playfully like interviewing her, and I knock over the bottle of ink, and the ink goes everywhere on the page, and we filmed it, and it was all planned. It was a photocopy of a page, so it, it's artist humor. I know it's lame. The same way, like if you take a comic book and you rip it in half, or sometimes I use a comic book as a placemat. I'll put a bowl of ramen on it and eat. People go, "What are you doing?" Like I've like just spanked, inflicted corporal punishment on a child. I have piles of comic books here. I have to use them for Tinder, kindling. Anyway, all right. Just in from work, Oaksley 9497. Hello. It's pronounced Johnson. All right. Einstein Johnson. You must be from France. Yes? Einstein Johnson? Oui? Je ne parle pas français. Very cruel. Yes, that's Tinder. Yeah, Tinder. Not. You know, words had meanings before they became apps. Yahoo, Tinder. I know it's French. All right. I understand it is French, yes. That's why you said it's pronounced Johnson. Hi from Belgium. Yahoo, serious, yes. Yahoo. Google it. It's from it's from a book, I believe. Jonathan Swift. No? Am I right? Kids are screaming? Are my kids screaming? I can't hear it. I have headphones on. So, now can you tell me what you thought of Last Jedi? Yeah, when they killed Jar Jar Binks in that one scene, I was like, what the F? My comics would hit my... Oh, I have the Eiffel Tower here. Look at this. All right. Somebody did something. Sorry. Oh, sorry, guys. Got a message from my wife here. gifts, all right? Christmas gifts. Tis the season. I hope you guys are all having a good one. Those of you on break have break. We'll go to 12:45 here. So no spoilers, or you're banned from your own channel. There are people literally planning on seeing this movie for the first time next year. No names. Kirihiko. Kirihiko. So we're not going to be talking about this movie for months. All right, okay, let's get to the art. All right, so I showed you a little bit of the art from Marcelo. I think it's good. I like the storytelling. It's relatively clear, pretty clear. Okay, I don't think these are sequential pages per se, because I see page 1, 3. Okay, and it's robots fighting each other. But I do have some suggestions, and it's really more about, so we'll get to pencils over here. It's more about how to make things more dramatic by spotting blacks, and I think, placing shadows, and I think it actually speaks to this. So this was completely unintentional that it was in the background, but now that I think about it, this is wholly relevant to what we're going to talk about today, which is, even if you have a style where you're not going to do a lot of rendering or spotting a lot of shadows, it is good to do it because it gives figures weight. It makes things more dramatic. Like I said, it brings punch to the page. It makes things clearer to see, especially if there's lots of details like these robots running around. So it organizes the information. And so I think there's definitely ways where Marcelo could have spotted shadows to create more dramatic, engaging art. Okay. ACL Bin. Hey, you won that Boba Fett art. I sent you several whispers. I need your name, like who to dedicate it to, and the address to mail the art. If you could please respond via message through Twitch, it would be fantastic. I also sent a message to Ninja of Justice. I have your drawing as well. I need your last name. I can't send things internationally. My assistant basically says that the post office, we live in a day and age where they need to know details, phone numbers, last names, his name, full name. I mean, it's crazy. So if you could put all that information plus your social security number, your bank account number, your PIN numbers, that would be fantastic. So please send it out. I think those are the last two pieces of art. Everything else has been mailed out. So when you get it, send me a message. You don't have to tell me if you like it or not. Just it's peace of mind. Anyway. All right. We have a chair, which is different from the thing you sit on. Will Broussard, thank you very much for the bits, dude. Appreciate it. Always a big supporter of the channel. All right, so as I get going, let me talk about some exciting stuff that we have going on. We had a PUBG stream the other day. I was still sick, and in my fever pitch of deleting these kind of false start videos that are like a minute or 2 minutes long, I deleted the whole 2.5 hour stream in which I want to say it was Crispy, or was it Renee, or was it PK? Somebody carried the team. It wasn't me. I did that last night. Excuse me. To victory. But more importantly, we talked about this Discord channel that Kate and Renee and Crispy has set up. And you guys should check it out. A bunch of people that were in the PUBG stream went over there. It is linked to your Twitch account, and the mods can kind of walk you through it. You have to be on your desktop to initially connect the two. You can't do it on your mobile device. But what I like about Twitch is that it is very interactive and engaging, and it's live. But it's really bad. It's not so good at really connecting the community beyond the streams. Meaning, if you guys have questions about events, you have to almost ask in real time, and we have to like spam the channel with Nightbot information about events, announcements, get-togethers, how to win giveaways, how to cheer, all that stuff. And it's like, if we could only store that information in a place that people check. I know some of it's on the front page, but who checks that stuff? And you have to scroll down. We specifically Kate, Renee, and Crispy put a lot of hours in to create this Discord channel where you can interact with other members of the community. It's sub only, so that you have to be a minimum sub 5 or higher. But it has announcement, it has rules, FAQs, information about get-togethers where we meet in person at various shows, and other details about giveaways and whatnot. So please check that out, and it's a great place to hang out or post things in between the streams. Okay, and then if we game, and like tonight when we play World of Warcraft, or this afternoon when Brittany and Kelsey play Overwatch, if you do join in, you can team chat with the people that play through Discord. It's very easy. That's cool. Check it out. So yeah, it's free. Well, not free. It's sub only, but to join Discord, it's free, I guess. You like rule number 2 in Discord? What's rule number 2? Was it like always shoot Renee? Oh, there should be separate PUBG rules. Or separate sub whatever PUBG rule set. So let me go with this first page here. We have Transformers. We have a warehouse. We have, I don't know, what's this guy's name? It's Bob. Bob. No, this is Optimus Prime. It's not Bob the Transformer. It's got this dramatic upshot, and I think there's a couple things I would suggest. One is the cool thing about shadows is that you can also organize the information and draw a little less, actually. Okay. And actually make things cooler. So what we're going to do here, be right back. Just hide it. Why can't you join Discord? Gym shooting mod. That Kira, you should make that gym shooting mod number 5 of 48, or gym shooting mod instance number 27. Okay. So also in Discord you can post artwork of mine that you own, and also your own artwork in between the submissions and whatnot. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this first panel, I'm going to shrink it down a little bit, and what I'm going to do there is so that I can put it more clearly in the center, and then I'm going to take some other black elements and kind of continue them. By the way, how's the resolution on this? How's this Ethernet thing that everyone's doing? How's that working out for you guys? Stream better than before? Alright, so I like the chain link fence idea. You can still do that. But let's say there's a building, another warehouse in the foreground here. Right? I'm drawing on the background layer. Excuse me. Excuse me for all these like horribly phlegmy sounds I'm going to make. It's gross. Okay, and what's interesting, what's good about this is that what it does is it puts something in the foreground, but it doesn't make it too important because it's all shadowed out, so the mind kind of knows that it seems less interesting. But now we've created some depth, whereas in the original page, I felt a little flat, even though you have a three-dimensional object, because there are no shadows, and it's really all middle ground. My mind was reading it as a 3D image, but I think you can help yourself by spawning some shadows here. Okay, and then maybe there's another rooftop here. And you might say, look, I want this to be the tallest building in this warehouse lot, whatever. Okay. These are just suggestions. There are other things you can do. You could put palm trees in the foreground, although that makes no sense here, but those are other ways. I'm just saying maybe an object here or there would be good to have. Okay. Excuse me. And I got the sense this is like sort of like a derelict warehouse by the boarded up windows, the the windows that are kind of cracked and broken and stuff like that. So you can continue that here. The signage here that you have, it feels a little fake to me. I mean, I get the idea that you're making it look derelict by having the sign kind of tilted. That sign is hanging so much for a building of that size, it seems overly done. I feel like it should be more subtle than that. But it's a minor thing. But these are all things about kind of dressing sets. I feel like it's a good idea, but maybe if you do it too little, it looks like you screwed up the perspective. So maybe you just kind of weather it a little bit like that. That's just a suggestion. The fact that it was hanging so much like a picture frame on a wall, it felt incongruous with the scale of the object itself, right? That's all. And maybe this fence has like some space here, little gaps for players to run through, right? Like little mesh webbing there. And see how you have all these lines here that are drawn with a ruler. Maybe hand do it a little bit, and then also it's always good to kind of break up these lines with objects like barrels, debris, bombed out cars, right? And that's because even if you draw a cityscape like this, it looks funny if every line goes towards this horizon. And every object, So these lines you go in towards this vanishing point, and if you look outside at real life, it's rare to see a line go unless you're looking at a railroad track going off in the distance, which you're going to have trees, right? Okay, you're going to have fire hydrants. You're going to have newsstands, right? You have lights here. You're going to have newsstands. Are there newsstands anymore? What century am I living in? Oh, here's a phone. Here's a phone booth, guys. There's bags of trash. Okay, that everyone can relate to. All right. Pieces of paper, just junk, debris kind of lining up. And so you start seeing how I'm breaking up these shapes. Maybe there's another tree here. Okay. And then even this, maybe there's another car here, another car here, another car roughly about here. And so you can see that I'm breaking up these long lines, so which is critical to making something feel realistic, right? I don't know why I have the fuzzy brush. I didn't want the fuzzy brush. It used to just give me different brushes. Now there we go. Okay. I'm diverging into another tangent. And so this is a side here. So then, going back to the placing the shadows, if the light source is over here, you could even do the reverse. You can have the tree here in white. And then this whole street side can be in shadow. So just from a simple black and white illustration, you can see how we're kind of organizing information just using really just black and white. Got Jaywalker here. You got Crispy here running across the street. Oof. Oh, headshot. Poor Crispy. Ouch. Anyway. Okay. Little tree there. Little tree action here. I own Discord, but don't know how to join. Okay. So you can spend really kind of a day and just have fun with creating a background with just black and white. Anyway, here's me. Very long legs. All right. All right. So if we go back to this original page, and we will, we have, if you wanted to, you can make this whole front black, okay? Sort of see the effect of that, right? Or if that's just too much, you go like, hey man, that's not my style. I'm not gonna put. You can cast a shadow. The shadow's back here. So you have elements in the foreground that are in shadow and blacked out, and then the object itself casts a shadow. Or if you want to go for extra credit, you can. Let's see if I can do this here. I wonder if you can cast. I'm not going to do it. I was going to cast a shadow kind of on this object itself, like this. Hold on. All right, it's almost like there's a huge building over here, and that shadow is bending across. Oh, crap. Right? But it probably is clearer just to do something like this. Or, at the very least, maybe there's some sort of but again, like I was saying, if you have these perspective points, you want to break up those solid linear lines. maybe there are objects here in the foreground. Okay. Sorry. For the Cintiq and drawing, I like Photoshop. For my iPad, I use Sketchbook Pro or Procreate. Procreate's also really good. Really, to me, it's like different pencils. I mean, it's less important what the pencil is. It's just a tool. I've used Adobe Photo Elements to draw, I think, or even Windows, the Mac, or the Paint program. Okay, so look, you can cast that shadow like that, and then you can create patterns. All right. All right, see how that white there? That white. You can then you go in and just add like little bits of white, pull out details, and then it makes it look kind of tricked out. It's kind of cool, right? A little goes a long way. Okay. So when I look at that, I instantly can see the three-dimensionality of it, and the eye pops to just this area, which is where you want it to go anyway. So when you come to this, I think there are a couple things. From a perspective level, I feel maybe something could have been. I'll talk about the shadows, but then also talk about the construction of this figure. Upshot, which is doing an upshot. I'll do that separately. So on this shot, you have the Optimus Prime going forward. So on something like this, you want to create. You have a couple things at your disposal to create more depth. One is line weight, and Marcelo does a good job of that. If you look right here, right, if you look at the detail here and here, and you see here by here, it has started to fade. It's almost like it is breaking up, right? And it fades to white at the bottom here. And so that is a classic way of showing depth, is that you have solid lines here and it kind of fades out as it goes towards the difference. Is it lagging for everyone? Not for me. Refresh. Okay. But I would also have done more, meaning you've got these, what the heck? All right, you've got, see how these shapes here, they're good. I like this. Little bits of shadow, those thicker black lines help create scale. Those are thicker lines and the thinner ones are down there. But Marcelo only does it here. Why not? Why not carry it through a little bit more? Okay. And what I'm thinking is, I want to create something like this, where almost all this is kind of black to kind of highlight the figure, because there's so much stuff going on. When you look at it, it's like, what, you have to really kind of figure out where the arms are and all that kind of stuff. So let's just say, let's not say that we're going to do that, but let's just say we push this here into the background. You can still have the detail, okay? And so these objects are casting light. I think these are lamps. But these lamps, when they cast light coming at you, cast a shadow behind it. If the light's going towards you, there's going to be a shadow behind it, a cast shadow. So we're going to cast the shadows of these objects behind it. Okay. And you got those cables, and we'll come back and add those cables back in. So and these lights are going to create all sorts of interesting patterns into the background. Like every nook and cranny will now get like this shadow effect. Oh my gosh, did you see that? Marcelo, he's put these, excuse me, he's put a little XX, like fill that in with black. Like, that's classic. I used to do that too. It's like I'm gonna fill everything else in black, but when I get there, I don't know, maybe he forgot. He might have just forgotten. It's so out of the way, it's almost immaterial whether there's a shadow there or not. It just brought back this memory because I do the same thing. Like when you first start out, you put like X's mean fill that area in with black, classic, and then you just start putting X's, and then you fill just like little areas here and there that filled with black. Really don't help the drawing. Think about the black shapes as an overall way to organize that information. Think of it as a whole, even though you're placing it here and there. It's like I showed you before, where I'm trying to focus the information here. All this area is going to be darker. All right, so that's what I'm doing now. And you have figures here that are black, but not over here. It's a little inconsistent, and in fact, these guys stand out because they're completely in shadow where nothing else is, right? So okay. And then here's a figure here, and that figure can cast a shadow behind it. Actually, this whole contraption, what am I saying? This whole contraption, I want to bring it forward a little bit. Okay. Okay. I probably would have figured out a way to put a wall or something here. That would get rid of these people here. All right. This is part of Optimus here. All right. Now, the same way that these lights cast this shadow back here, right? If the light's facing you, the shadow's created behind it. I would say there's probably light coming here, and that Optimus Prime is also casting a shadow on objects behind him. Okay, and I'm going to express that actually as just a gray for now, just so you can see it separate or independent of the actual black shapes that I just drew. Okay, and then right. And it could basically go like this, sort of getting lighter. Right. Okay, but you don't have to do that. Okay. The same way we created these black shapes in the foreground up here, okay, in panel 1, I'm looking for ways to put, so rather than doing straight up and down lines, maybe just go ahead and do something like that. A little more industrial looking, modular. Okay. again, you can see surrounded kind of the black areas around him. Right. Just like I did with the cityscape. And then this element here echoes this. Not what I wanted to do. See how there's that black shadow underneath here? The fact that it just kind of mirrors that bicep looks odd to me, so I'm going to basically create a wall, a partition. And maybe there's another pylon or something here that goes behind. Yeah, I might go like, hey, it looks even busier. I don't know. I think if you organize this well, all right. So just like that cityscape I showed you where I was kind of building up elements, I'm going through and adding detail, but the detail is okay to add because I'm adding it in areas that I have intentionally composed using black and white shapes in my mind, right? So I had that overall kind of pattern. The black areas, the shadows are going to be around this figure. Okay. Okay. And I think it's a little easier to read what's going on, I think. Patterns are also really good. Repetition of elements, especially in industrial settings, helps create depth. It organizes information. It's almost like if you have things in pattern, you can put an insane amount of detail, and it's not too distracting because the mind basically goes like, I see that pattern, sets it aside. If you have tons of detail, it's flying everywhere in every different direction, it's almost overwhelming. It kind of breaks up. Think about camouflage versus a patterned shirt, right? Okay, because we have these partitions, the fact that it kind of goes towards infinity speaks to, again, the idea of perspective lines going to a vanishing point. It's good to break them up. So what I would have done is done another partition here. Again, create that sense of depth. The perspective looks a little off to me, but it's all right. It's kind of... Right. Now I feel like it's creating more depth. And maybe the same way, those black lines up here. Remember those black shapes that we saw up here and here? Again, just create a little more. Excuse me. I'm really shocked people aren't blowing up chat with 90s X-Men questions. Well, it is 2017. I'm pretty sure that's 25 plus years. He's been streaming for a while, so people have had the chance to ask about it already. Sharks, Ken82, do you have one 90s question you want to ask? Think about it. I'll give you a second. One really good one. Ask away. What up, my Make Havoc 247? We've been waiting for you, dude. Where have you been? We have literally been just sitting here in stream waiting for you to show up. Can we all start now? Kate, checkbox, Make Havoc 247 is here. We can start. All right, thank you for joining in. My name's Jim Lee, and this is the Saturday stream where I go over someone's art portfolio. I'm just being a dick this morning. I don't know. Do you still have your NSX? That's a good 90s question. I used to own an NSX, Acura NSX. I do not. I sold it back in the 90s. I traded it in for like a Honda Accord from my mother-in-law. I've got 20 Divine Right questions. That's 20 too many about Divine Right. Sorry. It is Saturday. It's a work day. It's a day of relaxation. I would like to know the inspiration behind Gambit. Chris Claremont came up with the name. I came up with the powers. The ability to excite valence electrons in molecules to cause them to explode. And the playing cards, I was heavy into poker. Not enough sleep, Grumpy Jim. Thanks, Renee, outing me. We're up till like 5 in the morning playing PUBG. And talking about how to improve this channel. All right, it wasn't just all chicken dinners. Chicken dinner, singular. My chicken dinner. Anyway, when did I start using Photoshop? I was there when Photoshop was first introduced. That's how old I am. Back when it was called Cave Drawing Shop, and then later Illustration Shop, and then in the advent of the 18th century, we decided to call it Photoshop with the invention of photographs. Was I live streaming? No, we were just sometimes we covalent bonds, baby. Yes. How difficult was the move to image? It was hard. No, we weren't live streaming. We were sometimes we'll just jump on and use the opportunity to kind of talk about Bitcoin, FOMO, and things that we'd like to see in chat. A lot of stuff that happened in Discord was people just kind of sitting around talking about what we'd like to see, and we do that off stream. All right, so hopefully this looks a little more dramatic and impactful, maybe. And now you can see, like, if I start putting shadows on the actual, see how that makes them kind of recede into the background. So you have to be careful about where you put those shadows. But maybe you put it right here. So there are places I think you can put it. All right, make this more dramatic. What I like about the gaming streams is obviously you can talk about the game, but I feel like it's almost like you can talk about other subjects besides art or comics. And you have something to kind of watch or make fun of. All right. To create interest. All right. So you can say on one hand it made it busier. I don't know. There's a lot of elements already, but I think it creates more depth, and it creates. And what you would do here, up here is create a white border. All right, with a black line, so it's super clear, that one panel. Make Havoc 247. I'm a new sub. I know. That's why we have a ritual, a hazing. We like to call people out because I have not seen you in chat before. Captain Science. I thought it said Captain Science. Sorry. I learned so much watching these critiques. Thank you. It pops more. Agree. Joe Willis Art agrees. Thank you. Pity says, "Oh wow, Total Transformation was even watching. Pity is one of those streamers where he's like, I just walked away for 10 minutes, I came back, and things look different. That's because we're streaming, we're doing stuff. If it looked the same, I don't know. Pity has a girlfriend, he likes to watch soccer. He hasn't time to just focus on the stream all the time. He's like clipping it in real time. He's looking at every fifth frame. Do we have Discord? Amit 10F1. Do we have Discord? We just spent an hour talking about Discord. Was there other videos of other artists in Wildstorm Studios drawing Satana and Hellboy? Did you remove? I did not remove. I think I have some on my YouTube channel. Amit 10-4. I know you just came in. I'm sick. I'm taking it out on other people. I am passing on the pattern, the history of abuse and neglect. All right, so this is page 1. So let's go to another page here. Page 3. On this page, Marcelo does spots and blacks, but all right, so blacks you can use to create shadows, organize things by depth, foreground, middle ground, background, create texture, to indicate color. Someone could be wearing a black suit, like this guy right here. Okay. You can use it to create energy. So there's all these different uses of. We only have white and black in a black and white drawing. So here he's using it to indicate color, and here to indicate depth, and here to indicate shadow. Here's a little more color there, shadow there, reflections there. All these little lines here are texture lines, black lines creating texture. Okay. Okay, so those are examples of how you can use it. I think you could probably do, if there's an area I'd want you to focus on, Marcelo, is go with this. If you're going to create that shadow of this soldier, rather than have it look like he's standing in a shadow or a puddle of black, cast that shadow. Cast the shadow of the soldier behind him. Especially when you have a drawing that has perspective lines going like this. Cast your shadows this way. And actually, you know what? Splay them out like Wolverine's claws. That's splaying. This is parallel. Parallel, splaying. Parallel, splaying, right? Splay it like that. I hope that's the correct use of the word. I'm still learning. English is my second language here. All right, so I was born in South Korea. All right, I don't even know where the figures are. I just feel like these shadows help make this panel look more dynamic. And maybe in the background here, you have a small elevator door back there. Probably less important. Excuse me. Okay. I don't know. Did that help? That was just kind of my instinct to do something like that. Lee, no fun. That was an inside joke. All right. Trim the yellow skin off a lemon. Juice half the lemon, including the white stuff around the lemon. Pour a cup and a half of boiled water into the cup of juiced lemon. Drink it all down, Jim. I thought this was gonna be some weird like sexual thing, but sorry. Do it 2 to 3 times a day. Last time just before bed. Do it for 12 weeks. You will be very lemony. Oh my gosh. It works. All right. Tomorrow, I'm just going to have a pile of lemons. I'm just going to be like, all right. So, I'll also say that this panel, the perspective is a little off. The vanishing lines, these lines here, okay, are receding too fast for the size of the figures, meaning the figures need to be smaller because the background is those lines indicate to me that this background is receding in space a lot faster. So really, I want to say lines go like this, and you're going to have figures this size back here. Right. And these lines here are going to recede faster based on those lines. That's just eyeballing it. That's how I don't know. That's how it kind of feels to me. Okay. And these guys, I feel, are going to be bigger because, again, just by virtue of the lines that you indicated. Okay. Very quickly, I feel like they should be about this big. Perhaps even larger. Let's see what happens. See, that's too big. It feels more like in line with the perspective that you created. All right. Yeah. Problematic because I cut into that other art over there. No, I don't want to learn how to do that. Sorry. Okay, so what I need to do is do this, separate that, get rid of this here, and now we'll blow it up. Okay. I feel like that's a little better depth. You're creating a little better depth, and it follows the vanishing lines that were indicated on the floor more. And this is all, I mean, this is the fun of working digitally, right? Is that you can keep modifying and using the tools to rework what you have. Does that feel a little more in line? This is Photoshop. Hey, don't knock it. I'm just being a jerk. I agree. I've done the whiskey. Oh no, that was just a Saturday night. Some people do a shot of whiskey and then honey. I've seen honey, cinnamon. This is just tea with honey in it. I'm going to refill this up after I'm done with here. What size Cintiq? This is a 21 X. It's very old. No audio on iMac. What? How does it work? I mean, I have Photoshop CS5. Are you trolling me, Einstein Johnson? How does it work? Well, there's a device that has a capacitor tip. It then creates a change in electrical state on the screen. The screen reacts to this tip. It's too hard to. I can't even explain it, honestly. I could probably better explain mining Bitcoin at this point. Will there be an omnibus made for Stormwatch or Authority? That's a good question. It is muted by default. Check the Twitch volume. Yeah, it's user error. I actually got this stream working pretty well for putting it together this fast. It works because magic is magic. Flux capacitor. You're like Gandalf. Thou shalt not eat lemon wedges to fix your cure. What am I doing? All right, so we're running out of time here. Thank you, Kate, Renee, and Crispy, for helping out. Go check out the Discord channel. I only got 2 pages into the 4 or 5 that Marcelo suggested, but I hopefully you can see the benefits of spotting shadows. One thing I'll do here is see how this is parallel to this face. I feel like it would be good, and see how it's parallel to that. What if you went the other way? All right. What if you went this way? Does that make it, regardless of that it being a face, from a simple black and white, pure abstract illustration, does that look more visually interesting? Maybe not. Okay. The fact that this guy's suit is black and the shadows are black over here, okay. Again, you just want to be careful that after you've drawn it, you're like, oh, this guy's suit is black. Oh, these chairs are going to cast shadows. I'll just draw that in. Before you do all that, draw all the line work. Look at what you've drawn and go, okay, how can I use black shapes to make this more dynamic, more clear, create more depth, and then add the blacks. Okay, so think about it from a strategic point first, rather than tactically going in and saying, well, this has to create a shadow. This tie is black. This object is black. This has a small shadow. So I would go in and go, all right, this guy's suit is black, so that's going to be black. But now maybe I can use black shapes to better organize this information around him. So maybe this area is going to, I'm just going to try to load in as many blacks over here. Okay. Because everything is up and down in this panel. And by introducing angles like this, it's the same idea, mentality of creating more dynamic or interesting abstract compositions, regardless of what you're actually drawing, humans, machinery, whatever. The same way I have vanishing points going this way, and I have shadows going this way, I'm looking at this essentially up and down panel composition going, maybe the shadows go this way. So these figures are going to cast a shadow. Okay. So already I like this bottom shadow element a lot better. Maybe there's an element in the foreground, like a webcam type device, or the objects that people in Star Trek would look into. I don't know what they're called. Viewfinders? Maybe there's something in the foreground. Okay. And now you've got this shadow over here. I feel like if you cut it right there, maybe it creates it looks less half-hearted and more, what's the word I'm looking for? More confident. Like, I'm going to go ahead and go for it. I'm going to put that, I'm not going to just tuck it in that little corner. I'm going to go all the way around. And let's cast these shadows here. All right. All right. Yeah, let's flatten that out. Thank you, Bobby D360 and Pandemus for subscribing. Oh, sorry, Cash 2515. User X745 has resubscribed. T Stacy 30 has subscribed. Appreciate all that. Okay. All right. But even then, this angle, let's just go like that. But to create more depth, I feel like I should actually snake around. All right. I'm creating, and this is a kind of a more advanced form of creating perspective. Right? Organizing it that way. And if you organize it that way, this then changes. And again, I feel like I'm creating more of a space around this composition here. And I'd say it's a more advanced form. I'm not trying to hide this hand. I would fix that too. But it's essentially doing this, which is creating a workspace. All right. And it's good to sort of mentally go, what is the space that they're inhabiting, and maybe sort of create this space in your head even before you place the figures, right? One workstation here, another person here, another person here, another person there. And the vanishing point is here, right? And then you can see how organizing these shadows, and then the extreme foreground, excuse me. Yes, I got that black tie. Okay. And then you put your dudes. center of that. In this day and age, I wouldn't even use screens. Everyone's all about the holographic projections, right? So I'm just finishing up this the stream here. So thank you for, I think this is the 7th art stream we've done here. And I want to thank you guys for joining in, having a little fun. I'm sorry if I yelled at any new people. I'm actually, I try to be a nice person. But so I think in a little bit, my daughters Brittany and Kelsey will be streaming Overwatch. I might join in a group. And then tonight, our first ever WoW. I don't know if this will be cool or it'll be this horrible thing that happens. But if you guys play WoW, or you can download the free client, go. Illidan is the server, and Horde is the alliance that you want to join, and we'll see you there tonight, Pacific time, and you guys have a good day. If you can't join us, that's cool too. It is a weekend, so it is okay to... this is a tangent. I don't know what I'm drawing at this point, but... that was a mistake. There we go. Okay, all right. Thank you guys. Thank you to the mods. Check out the Discord channel. Hopefully it's not too confusing. And thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys soon. All right, take care.